Greetings, Ron Smalik here with a number of my friends, and we're going to be doing a top 10 Pokemon list from Generation 1. All of us are current Pokemon Go players, and this has kind of revived my interest in Generation 1, so I thought this might be a fun little experiment. And before I explain the rules of how we're going to build this top 10 list, I want to ask each person to just kind of give a quick intro. So we'll go in alphabetical order. Faum, do you want to just say who you are and kind of what your brief history of Pokemon is?
Sure. Hello, I'm Faum. I've been playing Minecraft with Ron for a long time. I started playing Pokemon with Pokemon Red back in when it first came out, really, in '98. And I've been playing at least one game from every generation since then.
Awesome. How about Hawkminer?
Hi, I'm Hawkminer, or Hawk. I'm young. I wasn't born when Pokemon came out.
Oh my god, wait a minute. You weren't even born?
No,
Awesome.
I was born the year after.
That's awesome.
Wow.
But I do own every game except for X and Y up until right now. So.
Nice. And we have Kavolta.
Why don't you have X and Y?
Because it was bad.
Oh,
And ugly.
oh my.
Oh.
We'll have to have a different episode to talk about that.
Yeah. So I'm Kavolta. I too have been playing Pokemon since it came out about, but I actually started with yellow instead of red and blue.
Ooh.
Casual.
And I've been playing it ever since. Played every generation. Yeah.
Cool. So I think Kavolta also legitimizes this recording to say that we have global representation because he's not in the U.S. So you're representing the other half
Canada.
of North America at least. Okay, and I myself, Ron, I've been playing Pokemon since my son got me into it. I think it was '98, somewhere in there. I have a whole episode on my YouTube channel where I talk about my history, but yeah, I've been playing it a long time, and I think I've played every game except the new Pokken Tournament. Doesn't interest me. So what we're going to do, we're going to focus only on Generation 1. Perhaps future episodes of this will focus on other generations or repeat this list with other folks, because if this goes well, I think this could be fun. And the way that we want to do this is inspired by something that I first heard on an IGN podcast where they were they do an annual top 10 list of video games. And I recently also heard it on a Geek History Lesson podcast where they did a top 10 list of Star Trek ships. And the way that we do it is we start with a blank list of 10, which you should see in the middle of my screen, and then we'll go round robin among the four of us. And at first, you will have the option of picking one of the 151 Pokemon from Gen 1 and put it on the list at any numbered slot that you want. So just for example, if your favorite Pokemon is Caterpie and you want to start him at number 1, you can add him to the list. And once we've filled up all 10 slots, then there's another function that becomes available, which is swapping. So let's say, we go around the group and we all add one to the list. The list is full. Then instead of adding new ones, you can choose to swap number 1 with number 9, whatever it is. And if you as we add Pokemon, if you add it to a number that's already taken, it will bump everything that's currently at that number and below down. So they won't come off the list once they're on, but they can be bumped down and they can be swapped back up. And we're going to do, I think, 5 total rounds. So we'll see how this goes. As we do it, it'll make a little bit more sense. So any questions from the group? Pretty straightforward.
So once there are 10, there's no adding more onto the list?
Oh, well, once we have 10, you can still add new ones, but they'll start bumping Pokemon down.
Right. And
And
so
you'll be able,
whoever's in slot 10 will be off the list.
but you can swap. So you can swap like
Right.
11 back to 4 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can only add until there's 10, then you can add or swap. There's only 2 rules. I will say, if we get into a situation where, like, let's say we can't agree on 1 and 2 and we just keep swapping them back and forth, you can't swap the opposite of what was just swapped. You have to make a new swap every time. So otherwise it'll get stalemate.
Okay.
So I'm hoping with 4 of us, we will have a mix of a list or rationale for why things are on the list. It could be that one of us is saying, well, these are the strongest. One of us might say these are the cutest, the weakest, the ones with the most memories. Like, there could be all rationales for this list. It's not just about the most powerful or the most popular even. We could have a list of all unpopular when we're done. Who knows? All right, so Foam, I'm just going to ask you to just tell us what is the first Pokemon you want to add to the list, what number should it be at, and just a short little rationale, like why is it in your top 10?
Okay. Well, I'm going to start right at the beginning with Pokemon 001 Bulbasaur.
Okay, and
This was my very first Pokemon. I've kind of always been drawn to the grass starters, but still Bulbasaur is my favorite through all the generations, really. I want to put him at number 1 if I didn't already say that.
Okay.
Basically, any opportunity in any game I've had to get Bulbasaur, that's been one of the first ones I've gone after. I was really excited when they brought the Generation 1 starters into X and Y. And since then, I've used Bulbasaur for a bunch of different things. Like, it's been the name of my fantasy football team for a few seasons. And just lots of little things like that.
Cool. Okay, Bulbasaur it is. So we went right for number 1. You're not obligated to put Pokemon at number 1, 2, 3 or off the bat. You could put it at any number. But let's have Hawkminer tell us what you would like added to this list.
So I want to put Pidgey, number 16 on the Kanto list,
Okay.
into slot 3.
Okay.
Because Pidgey was like the first Pokemon that I ever raised all the way to evolution, because I've never really used my starters in the game. Like, I evolved them to complete the dex, but that's about it. And I've always had a thing for flying types. So.
Okay. All right.
Are we allowed to say, like, no, you're crazy?
Oh, we have another global member representing us. Who has joined us?
Hello, I'm Jigglypuff. I've played many in Pokemon, and yeah, I'm looking forward to contributing my top 10, which is the best top 10.
Awesome. Well, I am going to add you into the rotation. I'll add you actually after Kavolta, but you can follow along, and there's a Google Doc if you want to be able to watch the real-time list of our top 10 as it grows.
Yeah, I have it open. I'm ready.
Whoa, look at this guy. He's almost on time, too. Good morning. Kavolta, why don't you pick one of the Pokemon and add it to the list?
All right. Well, I'm going to sort of counter Hawkminer here and put Pidgeot at number 2. And I think the fully evolved form of Pidgey is better than Pidgey because it's what you end up having in your party for most of the game. It's always the Pokemon that you use for flying around and just your go-to flyer. It's always one of the first Pokemon that's on your party. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Both so ugly, though.
You guys are crazy.
Yeah, I this will be interesting. So, Jig, you're going to go next. So you can pick any of the Gen 1 Pokemon, and you can add it to any of these slots 4 through 10. And did you hear the rules earlier?
No, so I can't.
Okay.
I can't move people around.
Not
and
yet.
like
Once
delete. Okay.
once the list is full, we'll go through a couple rounds where we can swap and we can bump. So, like, let's say if you once we get the all 10, if you wanted to put for some reason Pidgeotto as number 3, it would bump Pidgey and everything else down. So,
Okay.
all right.
Well, I have to add Magikarp
Okay.
because and it sounds crazy, but unlike the other ones
Mm-hmm.
that are bad, Magikarp actually turns into a good Pokemon. And
Do you want him at 4 or 5? You could put him at any of the open slots.
well, I would like him to be even higher on the list, but there's trash already in the top 3, so so I can't move any of those around. So, but like just the fact that when you find him, he's garbage and he doesn't have any good moves, and he's just sitting there flopping around on the ground forever. But people that are like, there's got to be something more to this dumb fish, and then all of a sudden, bam, giant, awesome thing. So that's why Magikarp's awesome.
Okay. Very good. So I will add a Pokemon to the list. I'm going to add Gengar. I will just say none of the Pokemon you guys have picked so far are even on my top 10 list.
What?
Although I do appreciate the flying, the birds that can fly, but I'm just gonna add Gengar at number 6 just to be different and not go in order. And Gengar was my first ever favorite when I had Pokemon Blue back in the day. He was my highest level, which was level 71. I thought that was so good. So the first ever internet avatar that I made was called Level 71 Gengar, and that was to discuss Pokemon on the internet message boards. And he's been my favorite ever since, even though I now have other favorites as well. So Gengar's debuts at number 6. So we will go back up to Foam, and
Who's updating the doc?
got 5 more slots to fill. Anyone can update the shared doc. Yep.
Yeah, but somebody was doing it, so I didn't want to write over other people. Okay, let's see. I am going to put. Let's go with Gloom at number 9.
Good choice. Good choice.
Gloom. Okay. Interesting.
You.
Even though I started with Bulbasaur and Venusaur was a huge part of my party for basically the entire time I played Red, I also leveled up an Oddish, eventually became a Vileplume, and I leveled both of those all the way to level 100, and they were both part of my party for the entire time I played. But I was super disappointed by the evolution from Gloom to Vileplume.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Gloom was so much cooler looking. So I was instantly regretting letting it evolve, and Gloom has just always been one of my favorites.
Okay. Gloom is at number 9, and Hawkminer. We got 4 more slots here.
All right, so I'm gonna put Alakazam at number 7 because it was the first Pokemon that I ever traded, and then it obviously evolved. So I traded my Kadabra and it evolved. And so it was the first time I'd ever used one of those weird cable things that no longer matter in the real world.
Yeah, it's amazing how many iterations of trading mechanisms they went through to get to where we are today.
Yeah, the latest game where you can't trade at all.
Okay, awesome. So far it seems like a lot of our things are based on our early experiences with the Game Boy games, which is fine. That's cool. Covolta?
All right. I think I'm going to put Tug Trio at number 5. Oops. And part of the reason for that is he was part of my original team. Uh, I love the ground type Pokemon. Favorite type of Pokemon. Uh, they could use dig to get you out of caves and that sort of thing, buildings even. They could learn it just by leveling up. You didn't have to teach to them with a TM. And after beating Giovanni, he gives you the move Fisher, which is a one-hit KO move. And I believe I taught that to my Doug trio. And he was just a great part of my team.
Huh. I don't remember that move. Yeah.
He also has a great cry in the anime. He goes, trio, trio, trio.
Okay, that's legit justification. I forgot about dig. I do like fly and dig quite a bit. Those delayed heavy attack moves. So Jig, you have slots 8 and 10 left open to you at this point. What do you
I'm
like?
going to put Porygon in at 10. I like how Porygon breaks the game context just completely. It's a digital Pokemon that somehow exists in the real world, much the same way that the Pokemon somehow get stored in a computer as digital files. And I just think that's hilarious.
Cool. I did have Porygon on my overall list too, so that's cool.
It's also one of the few Pokemons that can do moves that change type. And even though it's a normal Pokemon, like it can inherit other types through its different moves. So even though like it's not that useful, like I just think it's cool. And 80s me was always thinking, man, that's such a cool high tech Pokemon.
Now, do you think we're going to get like a new Porygon in Gen 7?
I would like a Porygon VR.
Oh, or AR, a Porygon Go.
Like, I think that would be so cool. Like, and Porygon Z was dumb. It was basically the same as Porygon 2 or whatever, but with a floating head, and yeah, it was dumb. But I think a Porygon VR or something like that would be really cool, where it's just literally a Porygon with a face thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to put a Pokemon in at number 8, which is not based on my love of the game. It's actually based on my early experiences with the trading card game, and that is Scyther, the grass slashy bladed Pokemon, because he just looks like a bad A. And he was sort of a staple in like one of the first. So the Pokemon trading card game is actually the first trading card game that taught me trading card game mechanics. I got into Magic after Pokemon, and he was part of a deck called Haymaker, which was like a dominant deck in the early days of the trading card game, and kind of taught me about decking and draw mechanics and things. And basically, I didn't realize why would anyone want him in your deck. He needs 3 power to do anything, and then I kind of learned how strong he was. So Scyther is probably my second favorite Pokemon, but he'll debut on this list at number 8. So now we have...
I would also like to say that Scyther was on my top 10 as well.
Yeah,
Mine
as
too.
well.
Nice. So maybe someone will swap him up. All right, so we have a full list. We're going to go, I think, 3 rounds now, where you will be able to either swap somebody on the list or insert somebody and bump other Pokemon down. And we'll go back up to the top and start with Foam.
Okay.
Or if you're
See,
completely
okay,
happy with this list.
Can I just interrupt a little bit?
Mhm.
So we're never going to get rid of all those dumb birds at the top.
Well, we could swap them to the bottom and then bump them.
Okay,
I mean, we
so
have
that would
15.
take teamwork.
Well, there's
Are we up
15.
for
There's
Run.
15 moves to go, so 5 of us,
Okay.
3.
Let's agree to get rid of those two birds.
Uh-oh.
I'm okay with the Pidgey.
Yeah, Pidgey's great. Wait, no,
we can get rid of the Pidgey.
So
We can't have
Fawn,
both Pidgeys, like two of those. Like, okay, just I wanted to say Subiru is the superior bird in every way compared to Dumb Pidgey
How can
because
you say that?
don't even. Okay, anyway, someone else
So-
turn first.
Fawn, go ahead and let us know what move do you want to make here?
All right. I am going to add Haunter just
Okay.
above Gengar because I think he is the far superior ghost Pokemon.
Oh,
Agreed.
Agreed.
how can you say he's superior to Gengar?
Looks
He's
cooler.
so much cooler looking and is so much more in the spirit of ghost Pokemon. I don't really understand why Gengar has legs. I don't really like that. Haunter is just so much cooler looking.
Okay.
I like how his hands don't connect to his body too.
Yeah, agreed.
I
Also, when I was originally playing, I didn't actually have anyone to trade with, so I could never actually get a Gengar. So
I do think it is interesting how many Pokemon evolve into more and more humanoid forms. And it always made me wonder, like, if humans evolved via Pokemon mechanics, like, what would we look like next? But
I think it's canon that humans actually are Pokemon in that world.
really, well, I think that's another episode as well. So Porygon is now off the top 10. He's still in the list. 11's not bad for Electric Duck.
We'll swap him in after.
So Hawkminer, what would you want to do?
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap Porygon with Pidgeot because Pidgeot is horrible. It's not a pure form of Pidgey.
That
Hogminer, my boy.
That seems like a strategic move as opposed to like a reaction to the grief that was given rather than what you really like. But okay, so we have Bulbasaur, then Porygon, then Pidgey, and Pidgeot goes to number 11. Interesting. Go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Oh, Pidgeot's just awful and Porygon's cool, so
Okay.
swap those.
Okay, and I think, Jig, in case you didn't hear it, you can't immediately swap the same thing back. So you have to...
No, I don't want to. I'm good.
Okay.
Porygon's good where he is.
So Kavolta, it's...
But I
your-
could technically swap Pidgeot for Bulbasaur, right?
Sure. You could. That's the fun of this format.
If you really agreed with that insane thought, sure.
I think I'm actually going to add Hitmonchan above Scyther.
Interesting.
And this is also because of the trading card game. This was the first holographic card that my brother and I owned. And
So when you say my brother and I, you really mean your brother owned it.
And you meant below
sort of.
Scyther, right? Not above Scyther?
no.
Oh.
And he's just a cool Pokemon with boxing gloves. And yeah.
Okay, at least you didn't say Hitmonlee. That's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Chan is definitely better.
Okay. All right, Jig, what would you like to do here?
Okay. I would like to insert Nidoran F.
Oh my gosh, okay. You can't insert anything below 10, you know.
Above. Above Gengar. Because there are almost no female Pokemon in Gen 1 at all.
Okay.
And I think the fact that they have these two Nidorans split off at the beginning was obviously a precursor to the genders that came later. And I think for its time, even having specifically female things going on. Pokemon was pretty ahead of its time, like female gym leaders, female trainers, and that sort of thing. So I think having a girl in the top 10 would be a good thing. And if you want to remove her, then you're sexist.
Oh my god. So okay, wow. I'm going to do an ad as well, and I'm going to add Electabuzz into the list. Electabuzz is also a card that I first liked through the trading card game. I think he's my favorite electric type from Generation 1, and I'm going to put him into number 3 slot, bumping Pidgey a little bit further down. I just like the way that he's got the lightning bolt coloring on him, as well as his again participation in the early decks of the TCG game. So we'll go back up to the list, and then I think what we'll do. So we have 2 more rounds at this point. What we'll do is we'll do this round the same order, and then we'll flip the order for the last round, because I don't want to go last and just force my pick in. But so Falm, we'll go to you.
Okay, let's see. Only Pokemon I really wanted included in the list that isn't in there yet is Abra. So I'm going to put Abra just above Alakazam.
Ooh.
Abra.
Oh, guess what?
I agree with having the lesser evolutions in there, unless Gloom is obviously the best of those 3 that you chose. So
yeah,
good.
Oh,
so Abra is definitely the cutest, and I thought it was really interesting how when you tried to capture Abra, he would just teleport away right away.
Yeah, he just teleported right off this list. I don't know how that happened. Okay.
It was just a fun Pokemon, and usually one of the first psychic Pokemon you would find, which is one of my favorite types.
What I find hilarious about those 3 is that, like, the evolutions is literally just getting a beard and a spoon.
Yeah.
And then the later one is beard is a little longer, 1 more spoon.
All right. Awesome. Hawk?
So I'm going to go ahead and put Cloyster onto this list, just above Doug Trio, but below Magikarp.
This is the top 10 list, right? Not the bottom 10 list.
How can you say that about... All right, so...
Okay, convince me otherwise. Convince me otherwise here.
Not only is he amazing, but if you look at him, he knows that he's amazing. Like, his sprite always looked ready to beat up whoever got in his way.
Looked ready for something.
Plus, he's a giant shell, so...
Okay. Nice. So we have a very interesting list so far. Nobody's touching Bulbasaur yet.
I might change that right away. But
we have no fire represented. I'm really surprised about that. But Kavolta, what?
Can we have some teamwork to get Blastoise in there?
I actually specifically left all the starters and legendaries off my list. So
why?
Because it's just not fair to the rest of the Pokemon.
Okay.
It is very biased, because your starter is the one who is the best starter, regardless of whether or not it is objectively the best, like Blastoise.
In my list, my top 17 list that I have here on the side, I do not have my starter in that list at all.
My starter was technically Pikachu, but he's not my favorite at all.
So what move do you want to make here, Kavolta?
So I'm going to add to number 1 Dragonair.
Okay. That's good.
Who doesn't love Dragon Pokemon?
That's perfect.
Dragonair. So you went with the stage 1 evolution.
Stage 2.
Well, the middle one.
Yeah, stage 1. Basic, then stage 1, then 2, isn't it?
Yeah. If you count it like that, yeah. uh, and yeah, so it's dragon type. Who doesn't love dragon type? It's just a beautiful Pokemon, mystical, like magical, and I love the way it looks. And yeah.
I think precursor to Snivy, which is the best
Oh,
Pokemon.
No, not at all.
all right, Jake. What is your move?
Oh, this is my last move.
No, you one more after this.
Okay. I would like to swap. Can I swap any of the top 10 with any one of the other ones?
Yeah.
I would like to swap Electabuzz and Gloom.
Electabuzz,
Yeah.
Buzz, and Gloom.
Because Electabuzz is dumb.
Oh, 16.
Yeah.
And
Huh?
Gloom is like really cool.
And
I really like all the personality.
Okay.
Like Electabuzz is just big angry grr guy.
Gloom
Gloom
has
is
drool coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, so much personality oozing from that character.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's the justification. Go Gloom.
So the second swap of the game only so far. All right. Oh boy. Well, that kind of changes up what I was going to do then. Okay, so I feel like I feel like we have a definite lack of fire on this list. So I'm going to take Magmar. No, I'm going to take Moltres,
Oh, good.
which I wasn't
Oh
expecting.
my god.
Magmar's almost as bad as Electabuzz.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Magmar is horrible.
What game are you guys playing? Okay, so Moltres, my biggest memory of Moltres is actually from Pokemon Snap, when you throw a whole bunch of balls into a volcano and he comes out. And I think I'm going to put him in at number 7, just below Magikarp. Kind of because I'm hoping Magikarp evolves into Gyarados before we're done. I don't want him totally off the list, but I feel better now that we have some fire on here. Feel better that we have some fire on here. So what we'll do now is so let's go in reverse order, and that way I won't run the list. But I feel like, although Porygon is cool, I'm going to swap him with Haunter, because Haunter is probably my favorite of the ones we have up here. So I'm going to put Haunter at 3 and move Porygon to 10. So that is my final move, and we will go back to Jiggerbob.
And this is my last move for sure.
It is your last move.
I think...
Don't you dare touch Pidgey.
At least, I mean, you could swap him with Pidgeotto. That would be
Pidgeot.
Oh yeah, Pidgeot.
It's not pure then.
Look at Pidgeot at the bottom of the list, 18.
Yeah, it is a little depressing. And Pidgey is trash. Need to get him out of there somehow. Okay, I'm going to... Actually, Moltres is a good bird. I was going to add in a bird that wasn't the worst. But Moltres is alright. Let me have a look at my list. Well, this is tough, actually. I'm going to swap Doug Trio and Nidoran Female.
Okay.
Why?
So 11 and 9.
Because your Doug Trio memories are purely nostalgic. The whole Doug line is trash. It's just a lot. It is a lump in the ground, and despite being a ground type Pokemon, which is cool, I mean, representing ground in some form would have been nice if you had chosen, anything else. But yeah, even Doug Trio is not a good Pokemon. It's like it's not. Yeah, don't even. I can't even articulate my disdain for the Doug line.
He's often mistaken for poop.
Yeah.
So Kavolta,
I think the best thing to come out of the Doug Trio and Diglett is in Pokemon Go how people are using it to put on their penis. That.
Oh my gosh, I have not seen either of those Pokemon yet in Pokemon Go.
There are quite a few Diglett around where I live, but
Yeah,
All
it
I have
depends
is
where
rats.
you are.
Well, Kavolta, you get to respond to that move.
all right. Well, since there's no longer any ground Pokemon in the top 10, I think I'm going to have to add another Pokemon.
Oh.
And I'm going to have to add my favorite Pokemon overall in Gen 1, I guess. And that is...
Oh, sorry,
Nidoking.
Kavolta disconnected. Hawkminer, it's your turn.
Cool.
And so, as I've mentioned, Yellow was my first Pokemon game. And so, you start out with Pikachu. And there's just no way to beat Brock with Pikachu, right? And so I asked my friend who introduced me to Pokemon how to get past Brock. And she said that you catch a Nidoran male and you train it to level 12 until it learns Double Kick. And fighting type move sweeps through all of Brock's Pokemon, and you're golden. And Nidoking just evolves, Nidoran just evolves into cool. Nidoking uses a Moonstone to do it. And it was part of my team throughout my whole first time around playing the game. And what's interesting is that when speed running, the current I believe the current way to speed run Yellow is to actually catch a Nidoran male and just use it as your sole Pokemon throughout the whole game.
So is Nidoran male what you're adding?
No, Nidoking.
Oh, Nidoking. Okay, good. And what number are you adding him at?
Number 1.
Oh.
Also, he's ground type, which I said I love. Also, the combination of ground poison is awesome.
2 more people to get Porygon back in.
He also naturally learns Horn Drill, which is also a one-hit KO move. So that's pretty cool.
Interesting. Okay. I would not have predicted that 2 Nidos are in this list, but that's okay. Hawkminer?
Yeah, I'm sure someone will swap Porygon back in.
So, although I'm absolutely disgusted by having Nidoking as number 1, I really want to put my favorite Pokemon on the list, so he gets to stay there. I'm going to put Lapras as number 3.
Oh, yay. Okay.
So, Dragonair, I see the appeal. It's not my favorite Pokemon, but it is really cool, and it is a Dragon type, which is the only reason I'm putting Lapras under it. But Lapras, you get it by being a good person, basically. It's amazing, it's beautiful, and it's amazing. So that's why it gets to be on the list.
Yeah, agreed.
Anytime I think of Surf, I think of Lapras.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So Falm, you're the last move here.
Well, there are 2 Pokemon that I really want to get out of the top 10, but unfortunately I can only remove one of them. So Abra is going to have to teleport into number 7 to get rid of Pidgey.
Oh, okay.
No.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm on board with that in
My
general.
poor Pidgey.
So Abra moves up to 7, and Pidgey moves down. What was Abra's number?
He was 15.
Okay, so still above Alakazam though. Okay, so
You know what'd be cool? One more round.
I thought for sure you were going to swap Bulbasaur up to number 1. I would have been happy with that actually.
The problem is having Nidoking number 2. And I think playing this game like this is that everyone saves their like ill move for the end and doesn't let anyone else be able to do anything about it.
Well, what if we do one round where you can only swap?
Ooh.
Pidgey number 1.
I will honestly say I feel like I'm surprised there's no electric here. Like Pikachu, I mean, obviously
Nobody really likes Pikachu.
Yeah.
You know, when I think of him, I think of him in the little Tamagotchi game, and I think of how happy I was to finally catch one in Pokemon Go. But up until Pokemon Go, I would have agreed he's not. He's like too cliche, right?
Pikachu was one of like the second Pokemon that I caught in Pokemon Go. So
Is it in the Viridian Forest? I think. Is that where?
That's where
in
you can
Pokemon
catch
Go,
it.
I said,
Oh, in Pokemon Go.
Yeah, was it in Viridian Forest though?
yeah, maybe.
Oh, how cool would that be if Pokemon Go overlaid Pokemon location names and routes on the real world map?
Well, that would be Japan, France, New York, and Hawaii, right?
Cool.
Well, soon to be Hawaii.
All right, so I mean, honestly, like I think this list is pretty good. Nidoking, Dragonair, Lapras, Bulbasaur, Haunter, Gloom, Abra, Magikarp, Moltres, Cloyster. Nobody went for Ditto, so that's good. Nobody went for Snorlax. Or I'm surprised there's not any Mewtwo's or Mews either. But maybe if we had done this with a different mix of people. So this is the official list. However, I would entertain one more round of swaps just to see what happens. But this is the list I'm going to publish as our.
I just want to point out that 4 that I added are in the top 7.
You were also the last person, and you added one.
Yeah,
I swapped.
from down the bottom.
I think what I could do next time is
Yeah.
randomize each round the order. What do you think about that?
Yeah, maybe.
That might be good. All right, thank you guys again. That was fun. I do want to do a round 2. I'm not sure if it'll be another generation or if it'll be just Gen 1 with different folks, or maybe you guys again. We'll see, but this was fun. Thank you. And that's it for me.